you got to see him. How far is Emiliano Teodo away from being able to help a big league club?
I mean, it's hard to put a number on that, but I mean, you look at the stuff. He throws 100 with a good slider, and he's got a changeup, so he's close. You know, you don't know. He could break spring with us. You know, be honest. Yeah, he's probably on the outside looking in, but that's how much we think about him. So the stuff works. He's been starting, but you know, I like him. You know, coming from the pen too. There's not a lot of arms like this. You know, he gets good sink on it. He's got a good slider change. So I think he's knocking on the door.
I mean, I know you don't work in player development specifically, but like, do you like him long term as a starter? He has good, obviously, high leverage stuff.
Yeah, and these are, this is something we are talking about with him. You know, obviously as a reliever, you're on a quicker path probably, but I think he can do both. Sometimes you bring him up, let him relieve, then you go back to starting. Sometimes you keep him in that rotation. So we are talking about his situation. Hey, Joel.
You got Josh Young hitting third today. Do you see him hitting there, or is that Langford spot once he's healthy?
Yeah, I can answer this a little better toward the end of spring training, but a lot of times, and I said this earlier before you got here, that don't look at the lineup as a possibility. Sometimes we have two games, so Carter leading off in the B game, and Seager's playing in that game, and Pederson. So this just allows Josh to get more at bats, and so they all got moved up, Berger included. But yeah, could they hit there? Yeah, I think Josh could be a 3-hole hitter. When you look at these, the lineup that we have, it's really, we have, a lot of guys that can hit anywhere in the heart of the order, so, and it is a popular topic right now on what we think is the best lineup here, so, but JJ he'll be in the mix there somewhere.
He missed over 100 games last year, and even as a rookie, when he went out, your team felt it. How important is that if he's back and having a healthy season?
Yeah, we missed him. No getting around it. Not just the talent, the bat and the lineup, but just having him around. He's engaged. And Berger reminds me of him. They're both watching the game and pulling for each other. They're just great teammates, and he's got that quality that we miss. So, but he gives you good defense. He gives you a really good bat in the heart of the order. He's only going to get better. But you saw the ball he hit yesterday. I mean, he's got big power.
What have you seen weekend to game just from Adolis and the way he swung it?
Yeah. He's trying to find it. He's getting some base hits. He's not slugging like he normally does. He's made an adjustment there, trying to be quicker to the ball, cut back some chasing, and make a little better contact. But you don't want to lose your identity. And his is, he takes a big swing. He's dangerous. And so, I have talked to him about this, and I love the work he's put in. He's come in tremendous shape, and he's done a lot to try to shorten things up so he can get back to being the player that he is. But there's probably a couple of things I think he can do to keep the power. We don't want him to lose that.
First, Joc Pederson has the reputation on teams that he's been on as being a great clubhouse guy. What makes a great clubhouse guy, and what have you seen from Joc so far that would back up that sentiment?
I'd say as much as anything, he just helps put players in a better mood. The way he walks in that clubhouse, he has fun playing. Yeah, I mean, he takes the game seriously. He doesn't take himself so seriously, and he's loose, and there's something about that that I think does make players better because they're you're a better player when you're playing loose and free, and he's going to make sure guys are. And he has a way of making them laugh. He's got a great sense of humor. He watches. You know what? He's a student of the game. He knows about players throughout the league, including the players here, and he's always talking to them, and you can see he cares about them. And so he's been through the ups and downs. You know, he's been really good, and he's had some rough years. So he's talked about that. You know, he says, "Hey, I can relate to both sides," and so. He's just got a great way about him, and so I think that's what makes him such a great teammate.
I mean, between Joc and Jake Berger, obviously, you know what they do with the bat, and that's a big reason why they're here. But was there in a conversation in terms of adding two guys like that who do kind of bring a good vibe to the clubhouse? Was that I know you're not in the clubhouse, you know, with the guys, but was that a priority that you guys kind of saw?
Yeah, you're always trying. Yeah, you're trying to acquire players you think that fit. You know and that's we talk about that a lot. That was just mentioned. Part of it's being a great teammate, and Jake certainly is that. You know, he's all baseball. He's just like JJ. I don't know, if he has any other interests. I did golf with him this winter, and I can tell you he doesn't golf a lot. So, but he just loves baseball, and but he loves being around the guys, and so another, I think, valuable thing that he brings is the teammate deal. He just has fit in really nicely.
Are you back to wanting to play meaningful games in September? That worked for you 2 years ago. You won a World Series when that was the goal in spring. So what do you state is the goal now?
Is to get back to the postseason. I mean, I think with the moves that have been made, the front office has done a great job of giving us the resources to get back there, and that's what we expect to do. The bar's been raised, and we embrace that, and that's our goal. And we're a team we think should get back to the postseason and do some good things, and we won't stop thinking that. How we doing? I'll start with news. Garcia's a scratch today. Feels it in the oblique. We're going to get him looked at. MRIs on the left side. So he looks like he's going to miss a little bit of time. We're hoping not much. I can't tell you until we get the results from the MRI.
Which oblique?
Left.
Something he felt this morning, or just a lingering thing?
It came in today, yeah, and said he felt it.
Speaking of obliques, is Langford probably next day or two we'll see him playing in the game?
Getting close, yeah. Don't have a target day for him, but I'd say that's the ballpark area, probably 3 or 4 days.
And all's good there.
He's doing great. Running the bases yesterday, he's swinging, he's letting it go. Just waiting on Lucky, our trainer, to say he's good to go.
Who's replacing Garcia?
Berger. He'll go in the 5-hole.
He's DH. I was
Right
I was
fielder,
like,
Jake
right
Berger.
field, okay.
Oh, my fault. Well, we've been moving guys around a lot, so
Okay, so Jake Berger in right field tomorrow. Got it.
He's made those few catches in first base. He can play the outfield.
I think he could. I really do.
So, with the information yesterday about the plan for DeGrom, who's going to start opening day? I know if you wanted, he asked that question.
Yeah, until we let them know, I let DeGrom know, but I like for them to be the first to know. But I think you have a pretty good idea. So, yeah, and with Jacob, just to add to that, it just makes all the sense in the world. Him being the last one out there, and just to give him 4 starts here, we'll get him up to 4 or 5 innings, as I said, and with him going that last day, then he gets that the extra day for 5 starts.
What, I apologize if this was asked on the Scott. Alejandro Osuna, what do you think of him?
I love the guy. He's a ball player. I love the way he plays the game, the passion he plays with, the talent. That base hit he got yesterday off that left-hander with 2 strikes, that was pretty impressive. That was pretty good breaking ball, and he hit it hard up the middle. Uses the whole field. He's got pop. He runs the bases well. Deep fly ball, for example, the left center. He went all the way around second, knowing he could still get back to first. The leads that he gets, he's probably. I hate to say been a surprise of the camp because I heard a lot about him, with the fall league he had, but he's been even better than I thought. And our guys were right on with him when they describe him.
He's gotten more at-bats and playing time than any other minor leaguer. Like, is that you just want to see him as much as possible, pretty much?
Throwing him out there, yeah. I want him to, face these guys, to get a good feeling what it's going to take to play up here, and I wouldn't rule anything out with this kid. He has no fear, and lefties, righties, like I said, he plays well in all facets of the game.
What differences or changes have you seen in Joc Leiter this spring?
Yeah, Jack's really looked good, hasn't he? Fastball, he's got his big fastball in 98. That's where he's sitting at. He's got the 2-seamer he's got in his arsenal now, and that's going to be a big pitch for him. He's got some run to it, to run it in on righties. So I think that's something that's going to help him. But to change up, he's come up with this. It's fairly hard change up, around 92, but it's got good depth to it. It's diving, and that's, I think, a huge pitch for him, because a lot of teams are looking fastball when they face him. So he's got to have the off speed to get him off at times, and I think that's going to be a big pitch for him. I think even bigger than the changeup. Than the curveball. Sorry.
Is he better right now than he was on September 28th?
Oh yeah. It's evident he's worked hard. He's coming in here, great shape. I like the way he's carrying himself. He looks like he's on a mission. So he's in a good place right now.
Dane Dunning, he's starting the day. He's looked pretty good this spring. Where do things stand with him? Does he have a role? Is he competing for a role? How do you look at his status?
Yeah, well, we're going to keep it competitive. I'll start with that, with everybody as far as our needs as we break camp. But we've seen what Dane can do for a team when he's on it. He gives you, versatility with the length, the starting occasionally, like he's doing this spring. Throwing a lot of strikes. Stuff's back to where it was the year before. I think it's going to climb even more, but I like his command and movement. So we got him stretched out. We saw how valuable he can be. To me, he was the most valuable pitcher on that 23 team, with how he saved us, and especially when DeGrom went down, he stepped in. We've talked about all this, but it's been fun to watch how he's kind of got it turned around again.
Do you feel like he was motivated by last year, by how that ended for him?
I think so, Kennedy. I think these players, as I said, they get humbled sometimes, and sometimes it's a little bit of a wake-up call. This game's not that easy, and you got to keep working. And not that he wasn't working, but maybe you work harder. Whatever it takes. And so he's taking it upon himself. He's I don't know, lost 15 pounds or so. He can tell you better than me, and so he's come in great shape. And he's done a lot of work on the pitching side to get back to where he needs to be.
I guess we all come to camp with ideas of what certain facets, what the bullpen might look like. Yeah, with Jackson. But has there been any performances from guys on the outside looking in that you guys are maybe starting to rethink things like, hey, this guy, he's going to make it hard on us?
Yeah. I mean, I think there are going to be some tough calls. I mentioned one or two of those, and of course the others, they get left out on this one. But, even a guy like Church, you're looking at what he's doing, how well he's throwing, and but some of these non-roster guys have done a terrific job getting out there and making it tough. I like our left-handed situation. We've got some good one. Alstrom, I mean, he's going to be a good one.
Say Alstrom?
Oh, I messed up there, sorry.
Well, no. If you did, what do you like about him?
He's a really good competitor. You can see that in him. He's got a little bulldog in him, and he's got a good breaking ball to go. He's got some velo, 94, and so he's got to spin for both the lefties and righties.
It's a little funky too.
He is. So, and Drake is somebody that I know he hasn't had a chance to really get out there, but the early go to pins and everything, he's been impressive. So we'll try to get him back over here.
Has he faced hitters yet, Drake?
Yeah, he had a live session.
The first round of roster cuts yesterday, I guess, but guys like Walcott and Moore, the younger felt like they made the most of their.
I agree with you.
Right?
They did. Moore swung the bat well, didn't he? Loved the way he's throwing the ball. Came in, the first time I saw him throw it, it was a little rough, to be honest. But that's, his first time. But after that, he really threw well. He swung the bat very well. Against some good pitching too, and he didn't back off. He was letting it go, and that's what you want to see from these guys. And Sebastian, there's no ceiling on this kid. 18 years old, the way he handles himself, and so I look forward to keeping up with him this year.
Does he need to play more positions, Sebastian, or is it too early to?
I think it's too early. I like him where he's at right now. That's all. Sometimes it always gets discussed. He's going to have to move because of his size and everything. I think you wait and see how it plays out. We have plenty of time for that.
Do you have anything you want to tell us proactively?
Let's see. With Garcia, it's pretty mild, so that's the good news. Not quite a grade 1, so we expect him to be back a little bit sooner than Langford's schedule. So that's the good news there. I've not seen him today. I'm going to grab him after I'm done here.
So you're saying you expect him on same schedule pretty much as Langford?
No, not quite as long.
Not quite.
Yeah. It's he didn't strain it quite to the degree. Langford was a 1, and they felt this is, between the 0 and the 1, I guess.
So you guys dodge a little bit.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Especially this time of the spring. With Wyatt doing his earlier, that gave us time to get him ready. He's scheduled to go Friday. We'll watch the weather. Obviously, we don't want him playing if it is going to be cold and rainy on that night game when we play the Rockies.
So if Wyatt comes back on Friday, he will have missed 15 days, basically. Yeah. And so you're thinking that Adolis could be 10 days out, basically.
Basically,
About that,
yeah, about.
So, and today's the 5th, that puts you at about the 15th. Week's worth of at-bats, plenty?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So,
With where he's at, the number of swings he's had, and not having as much time off.
so opening day, right fielder, Adolis Garcia, if everything goes right.
I would say that, yes. If all goes well, yeah.
I know the other day you mentioned, you talked a little bit about your plan for DeGrom. He's going to pitch Friday, right, or Saturday?
Right.
Friday. Okay.
Again, we could push him back if the weather.
If the weather, we've got bad weather forecast.
Yeah,
Okay.
cold, supposed to be in the 50s, night game, rainy. So if we think it's better to push them back to Saturday, we're prepared to do that.
Okay, so this actually leads into my question, right?
Okay.
If you slid DeGrom into the 5th spot to start the season, his first start is in Cincinnati.
Right,
His second start is in Chicago.
right.
Wouldn't you want to avoid that because of the potential for cold weather?
Yeah. Again, that's hard to predict what the weather's going to be then, but that's something that was discussed. But I think with the benefit of doing this, with having his first 5 starts, getting that extra day is more beneficial than being concerned about what the weather could be in those 2 cities. It's not that we don't want him pitching in cold weather. He's done that. I mean, he did play in New York quite a while, so it's not something he can't do. So, this his first start out. We just don't want him. I'm more concerned about the rain more than being 50, 55 degrees.
The idea is more to have him pitching effectively at the end of the year, doing all
Right.
we can to make that happen.
Yeah. We're doing what we can to take care of him. He has missed some innings. That's last couple of years. So this is to keep him going all year and have him fresh at the end of the year.
And he's, all on board and recognizes.
Yeah, oh,
for everything.
yeah. No, he's all. It's not. Right, he's not the 5th. He's not the 5th starter. And he'll tell you. Every guy's your number one. Once you get that rotation going.
And the last thing for me on him is, have you guys, since you clearly obviously communicated some of this to him, right?
Right.
Have you talked about innings limits?
No. Nope.
Will there be innings limits?
I think it's important that we do watch his innings, how we use them. He'll tell you he's going to want to make every start. He's done it. Yeah, he's missed some time, but if it's done in the right way, he could make every start. Yeah, I don't think you rule that out. But if he needs a day or gets something comes up, we have to skip him, whatever, we'll do it. But we're not saying, hey, he's going to make 20, 25 starts, and this is when we're going to do this with him. No, there's no plan like that. Our plans are, for him to make every start that he can.
Would you say you have some experience with this through Timmy? Some of the injuries he had, and then you had to be a little cautious with him when he came back.
You talking about Lincecum?
Yeah.
No,
This time.
you know what, with Timmy, no, you look at his strike record, he made most of his starts. Toward the end, he was, he wasn't quite as durable. We had to protect him a little bit, but, I think you look at when we first got Jacob, we talked about protecting him. A guy like Scherzer, those guys,
When you say giving him the extra day, you're talking about putting him in the 5 spot.
There's a day off.
Right. But you put him in the 5 spot, and then you just keep the 5-man rotation and honor it with days off.
Right,
So that there would be some times where everybody actually would get an extra day off.
right.
Okay. You've got the end of the rotation figured out. Do you have the front?
Yeah, we haven't talked to him, yeah. I think you can figure it out.
Because he started an opener for you before?
Yeah, I think he has.
How is Jake Berger handling the balance between baseball and what's going on at home?
He's been incredible how he's handled it and how positive he's been through all this. It's just been an inspiration on how how deep his faith is and how he's able to keep his focus on baseball and Penelope, of course, his family, and we have a day off. We've mentioned going home, going back, and right now it's not the time to go back because she has to be protected, because don't want a lot of people around and around her in case of infection, I guess. But he's done just a terrific job of separating the two, but also keeping both of them priorities for him.
Yeah. Now, when you played, guys didn't go home. Like, they didn't go to the birth of their kids. Like Tom Grieve said he never saw one of his kids born.
Yeah, I didn't see my first one until he was 8 days old.
Yeah. It's a good
I was a
change.
backup. I was expendable.
It's a good change, right? I mean, the way the baseball culture has changed.
Yeah.
Let the players go home.
Yeah, it's an important day, You never know, So that's why it's important that they are there for support. Sure, I agree. I mean, those are 8 tough days that I miss. Yeah. So no, it's for. I think the change is for the better, and it's worked out well. You have the bereavement now. You can replace the player during the season. So no, I think it's been good for them to be able to see something that it's a big moment in their life.
When you look at the bats you have now, and you talked about the lineup potential a couple days ago being like 2 years ago, how is it different managing this club compared to a team in San Francisco that you didn't expect to overpower people? You had to beat them a lot of different ways with your defense and your bullpen and all the rest.
Yeah, and I've mentioned this. I think it's up for the manager to adapt to the club that he has, and this is a team that's going to be known for their slug. I'll say that, but you don't want to get away from playing the game too. So we do have some guys that can run the bases, steal bases, hopefully get bunts down at a certain part of the order to help put some runs on the board. You can't just rely on slug. You can't do it. You're asking for trouble, and that's something I've talked about. In fact, we did this morning. With lining up your batting order where you have similar guys all bunched together, do I mix it up? Do I tweak it a little bit from the leadoff spot through 9, to break it up so it doesn't have the same look and make it a little tougher for the pitchers. I don't like stacking 3 righties that were slug guys together, and so I have not decided which way we're going to go, but I'll start. You've seen the lineup change quite a bit, but next 2 weeks I'll continue to do that. I have a good idea of what it's going to look like, but I still want to see what it looks like on the field.
What was your evaluation of the defensive change from 2 years ago to last year? Because you were so good defensively.
Yeah, I think really Berger's going to. Nate won a Gold Glove, and I think Berger has a chance to win a Gold Glove. That's how good I think he can be. The work that he puts in, I talked about those 2 catches he made in foul territory, but the ground balls, the arm that he has to throw with, being a third baseman, he just looks more and more comfortable over there. And so I think defensively we're going to be as good, and I hope better than what we've been. Last year we slipped a little bit. We were in the middle of the pack. We need to get back to being a top 5 team defensively where we were in 23.
So what is your thought on, without naming names necessarily, what is your thought on how you think you want to go with this lineup? What do you want to stress?
Probably it's different looks, maybe. Whether we do it or not, we'll see. But that's the only thing. You're looking at some guys that see more pitches than others. You see, things like that. Do you want to mix that up? The back end of the order, those are guys that need to do some little things. But it's hard to say right now because I don't know which way we will go, even at the top of the order. There's a lot of flexibility with this lineup. Even like Pederson, he hit third last year a lot. Will he hit third here? That's where he was. So, the 3, 4, 5, 6 hole, those, and all of them, I will get with, before I say too much here, with, some thoughts that I have, things I want to look at.
When Joc starts, it's going to be predominantly against right-handers.
Right.
If that's the situation, you don't have any issue stacking lefties back to back. Let's see.
I never have. I've said that. I want to score early. I'll worry about the bullpen later. That's my thinking sometimes. But still, looking at the team they're playing, what they have in the bullpen, what I think they're going to do with the starter. Now you get the opener out there. That changes things. So, there's some variables involved here.
I think you had 3 guys on the lineup last year that started in their specific lineup spots over 100 times, right? Marcus, Corey, Adolis.
Yeah.
I think Nate did too, but Nate obviously didn't. You think that you'll have that similarity this year?
I don't know, and I think we will, but I will say this. I think, well, first of all, production's going to play a part in this. Last year we had some guys with down years, and some things have to be earned. That's not going to change. So I feel like we have to tweak the order a little bit, to get the guys that are swinging better in the spot that we want. Yeah, we'll do that. But I think it's going to be really close. You're not going to see it changing from day to day. It's not going to be anything like that. Oh, he had a rough day, now I'm going to drop him down. No, I'm not going to be that reactive.
So you could, though, on opening day, have 1 through 9 have a lineup of guys who have hit at least 15 home runs in a season. I mean, how many home runs? You could have 10 guys that hit 10 home runs this season. Despite all the talk about, being versatile offensively, you're going to hit the shit out of it potentially.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, it's just, I think this team potentially could outslug the team we had in 23. Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. If guys have the years that we think they're going to have and we expect them to have, yeah, I think really everybody could hit 10.